Hello everyone, welcome to Kaleidoscope of Happiness. This video is called I Did What in the Kitchen? And it is homemade beef bone broth on a fixed income. Now, my granddaughter was with me when I went to the butcher shops and got the meat, the bones, and she's been calling it bone soup. So, those of you I've talked to about this already, the process of it, we're calling it bone soup. All right, first up are the bones, uh, and these are a package of beef feet. Didn't even know there was such a thing. The man at the butcher shop told me that they have a lot of collagen and connective tissue in the feet, and so I bought a pack of those. And you can see that they were $5.91. Next, I got a package of beef neck bones that were $5.65. And then I got ring on meat bones that were like a shank bone for $4.77. And then I got another package of shank bones or soup bones for $5.04. And the last pack was beef soup bone, and it was $3.69. Now, I did not use all of the bones in this first batch. I do have some left in the freezer to make the second batch, and I've already purchased a couple of more packs of bones as well. So, anyway, you take your bones, you put them in a roasting pan, and you roast them in the oven for approximately 1 hour at 400 degrees. And 30 minutes in, you take the pan out, flip all the bones over, and then roast them for an additional 30 minutes. While that was roasting, I went ahead and chopped up some celery, a couple of white onions, and a whole huge head of garlic. So I don't even know how many cloves it was, but a lot of garlic. And then when I finished that, I put it all in the pot. I added seasonings. I used Himalayan pink salt, black ground pepper, apple cider vinegar, just a little, some turmeric, some salt free garlic and herb seasoning, some complete seasoning, and both of those seasonings came from Chef Hit Dice. I'll link his channel in the description. I also used ground cumin, ground ginger, and some bay leaves. And here are the bones when they were done roasting. And I put them into the pot and I scraped the pan and added all those drippings and all the little brown bits down into the pot as well. Here is everything in the pot filled with some water, and I actually started cooking it at 5:26 p.m. on Saturday evening. And it said not to stir the bone broth, and I questioned that. I didn't quite understand why they don't want you to stir it. But for the first several hours that it's cooking, you don't stir it because you want they call it a skim, to come up to the top. And this is impurities and just stuff that you want to, kind of take off and remove off of your broth. And so this was about 3 hours later. You can see what I'm talking about. There is like a layer of a film on the top of the broth. So I skimmed that all off. And as it cooked down, I continued to add water to the pot, and I let it cook for 24 hours. Now, I did taste the broth as it was cooking, and I did add more seasonings. Chef Hit Dice also gave me some Texas barbecue seasoning. I did add some of that, and also he gave me some buttery steak seasoning. I used some of that as well, and I did add more turmeric as it cooked. Now, the reason for the turmeric is because it's very good for anti-inflammation. Anti-inflammation. And with arthritis and just aging joints, that is something that I deal with. So I'm making the bone broth because I want the collagen and the protein to help repair my joints. And adding the turmeric also just makes you feel better as well. So continue to let it cook for 24 hours. Then here is a picture of the broth. I skimmed it again and I started straining out what was in the pot, and you can see the bones and the celery. Most of the garlic and the onion is pretty much disintegrated, but you can see that the bones have pretty much given all they had to give, which is great. And then in this next picture, again, you can see the stuff that I took out of the broth, and I'm down to the bottom of the pot, and I used a wire mesh strainer and I strained all of my broth. There was quite a bit of meat because those beef neck bones had quite a bit of meat on them, and I saved that meat as well, and I've eaten a little bit of it, but I've also fed it some to my dog. And you can give dogs beef bone broth as well. Your elderly dogs that have some hip problems or knee problems, it'll help them with their joints as well. So here's the picture of the first taste of the bone broth in the mug. And next to that is the container that I've got that beef in. And then there is the finished product. 2 containers. I believe these were 6.5 cup containers. And then I also had a mug full and another like 4-ounce container. So I got quite a bit of broth out of it. And they suggest that you drink a cup of broth, which is 8 ounces. You could do it every day if you wanted to, or every other day. But it is just a really rich, flavorful broth that when you put it in the refrigerator and the freezer, which I put one in my refrigerator and the smaller container, and one of these containers I did freeze. It can stay in the refrigerator, they said, up to 7 days, and then it can be in the freezer anywhere from 6 months to a year. So I don't think mine's going to last that long, because when I take the container out of the freezer and start on it, I will be making my next batch. So this will be a process in my house I will do, because the bone broth in the store, you get like a 1 or 2 serving box for $7 or $8. And this is just way more economical, being that I'm on a fixed income. I am also going to make some chicken bone broth. You can buy a whole chicken and bake the chicken or cook it in your crock pot and then debone it, and you'll have your meat to eat. And then you take the skin and the cartilage and the bones, put them in a pot with some vegetables and some spices, simmer that for 12 to 24 hours, and you will come up with some good chicken bone broth. So you do want to cook this on a pretty good heat. In the beginning, that first hour, you want to get it to a boil. And once it's at a rolling boil, you want to turn that heat down. And then you're basically going to simmer it, slow simmering it for 24 hours. But I can tell you, my experience was wonderful. It smelled so good cooking on the stove. My house smelled so delicious. And I really did enjoy cooking it, and I enjoy eating it. And I've had a cupful every day since I made it. So I hope you enjoy this video. I hope that you will give bone broth a chance. It is something that you can use in your, self-care, as food as medicine, and help you with your joints and your skin, your hair, all of the things that collagen helps with. And it is completely natural. And by making it at home, you know exactly what you're putting in it. So I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope this encourages you to give it a try. And again, thank you to Chef Hit Dice for my surprise box of spices. There is a video out about that as well. And remember, God loves you, and so do I. Bye now.